Hey there guys, real quick, this is the Elder Dadless, co-host of the Dadless podcast. Today, I'm here to tell you a little something about Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast, and let me go ahead and explain. First of all, it is free, there's no upfront cost, it doesn't cost anything. It's a great way to get started. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Literally, if you're on the go, if you're at school, if you are hiding in the restroom while you're at work, if you're stalking your ex-girlfriend, you can literally make a podcast from anywhere. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other streaming platforms. Hey, great way to get it out, right? You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That means that your Uncle Randy, who was twice removed, can help you make a buck. Or creepy Father John, who you chose to stop talking to for many reasons, can even help you make a buck. It's that simple. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That is anchor.fm. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get back to the show.
Oh no! Look, everyone. Weasley's got himself a howler.
Go on, Ron. I ignored one from my gran once. It was horrible.
Isn't that a wonderful beginning?
Yeah, it's really good.
What is this? Are you trying to trick me?
Wait, just wait.
When's it get good?
What's up there, little homie? About ready to do this?
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
In this world, if you can't swim, you bound to drown. And if you fall, you better pick your punk ass up. That's right. And the rest of y'all,
Wanda, the ready?
don't cut him no slack.
Hey, Freak Joe, you're going nowhere.
One.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of lead time.
Two.
You got no backup here.
I'm calling Veronica. Veronica, give me a hand.
Y'all fools get busy.
Three.
It's clobbering time.
Hey there, welcome back to the show. Hola y bienvenido a otro capítulo del show. This is the Dallas Podcast. I am the Elder Dadless. With me today is the always incomparable great communicator, Jose the Dad. At the very top of the show, before we get into the main subject, very big shout out, very big thank you to the growing community again. We are now nearing 700 people, and that's including our Facebook community that we have. That's including the listeners that we've garnered now. So thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. Again, it's surreal to see how popular we've become, just because we're, like I've said before, we're just spouting off the same shit that we usually talk about with each other off mic. But I mean, we're applying it to recorded audio, so that's very cool. I'm glad that a lot of people are vibing with us. It's great. It's cool. I'm glad people enjoy it. Real quick, un gran saludo a todo mi gente latino. Big shout out to everybody that's fucking listening to us in Venezuela, Mexico, Argentina, Colombia, Bolivia, Peru, Brazil, Canada. Oh wait, whoops.
Sorry. It's all right.
Paraguay, Chile. It's fucking great. It's great to know that we have an immense Latino following, Latinx following, just so that we don't upset anybody. But
you've upset me. I don't know what Latinx is. Does it mean I used to be Latino, but I've now
not anymore?
I'm an ex-Latin.
I'm an ex-Latin. That sounds like a street gang.
You shop at the mall. You don't go to the remate anymore. You're Latin X.
You son of a bitch.
I'd rather have Chipotle than a bowl of pozole
any day.
That's a lie. That's not true.
So picking up where we left off last time, we talked about racial depictions or otherwise stereotypes used in animation and in cartoons.
That's racist.
Where we left off, as it was noted, I mentioned to Jose that I have a slew of notes on the heat that has brewed with J.K. Rowling and the Wizarding World.
Hey, y'all back up off my girl, all right?
That's where it gets tough. Like I was saying last time, it gets tough being a fan of Harry Potter because there is so much heat within the Harry Potter community. And I guess originally it started when Pottermore started. I
fucking love Pottermore.
I've never been on Pottermore.
I went on Pottermore when it like launched. This is how long I've been a fan. Like I was reading the books as early as I could read them. I remember being pissed off in like the 3rd grade because I was trying to read the Order of the Phoenix, and it was just like above my reading level. Just like, what the fuck? I can't get past the first fucking chapter. I was pissed, but I came back to it, and so I've been a fan for a very long time. Pottermore came out, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I signed up. I like put my email for notifications for when it released. And, then I was like, oh, this is fucking boring because there wasn't much yet.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was Pottermore not started on Tumblr? Or was it just its own, like, flagship thing?
I believe it was its own website because I don't ever remember being on Tumblr. But I remember signing up for Pottermore.
A lot of pornography on Tumblr.
Showing.
Yes. Yes, there is.
I never
you can't watch it in Australia, so be careful.
Oi. Yeah, you're out of bounds there. That's offensive. You're not supposed to do fucking impersonations anymore of accents.
Why is this? No one told me this. You hear the fucking president called me.
In Russia, it's still okay.
He called my fucking president. He said Putin is murder.
He said Putin is weaker than bear.
He said Putin is killer. And Putin said, what the fuck, man? I am not killer.
He said,
you're killer.
Take one to know one, pussy.
It is exactly what he said. He goes on news. He says, well, I know you are, but what am I? And they fucking brilliant. Thank you, Mr. Putin, for that. And thank you for staying out of 2020 election.
So, again, I have a bunch of fucking strung up notes that I wrote down because I read quite a bit of this. A lot of this is from online articles. A lot of it is from Reddit and like a lot of the online community. So it's not exactly my words or my point of views. It is subject matter that has been brought up by other fans online. So where to begin? J.K. Rowling.
J.K. for life.
She has come under a lot of scrutiny and fire by the online community, by the LGBTQ community. She just fucks up. She makes a lot of bad decisions, I guess. It's not for me to say because I'm very much an outsider looking in. Especially as a fan, I am a fan who really is a fan of the works of Harry Potter and the Wizarding World and whatnot. But I really, I'm seeing it from an outside perspective. So take this with a grain of salt, please. First of all, she's been blamed for a number of things. Poisoning the water, burning down the crops, being the mother of dragons. That's a joke. So one of the first points, she has been blamed for transphobic statements, I would say, or afterthoughts, postscript thoughts. One of these, starting at the very top, with Dumbledore. Because Dumbledore was or is depicted as a homosexual male in the books, although it's not directly like plain.
Yeah, so it's not expressed. Nowhere in any of the books does it say Dumbledore is gay. This is something she put out on Twitter. And this is where I'm confused, man, because, like, she came out and said Dumbledore was, gay before it was like
before it was
before
really
it was PC and like it had to be like it had to be acceptable. Like at that time, I don't even know. I'll look it up, but I don't know for sure if I don't think gay marriage was even legalized across the country yet. But she saw that, hey, you know what? There's not very many LGBT plus people represented. I have a very popular character that she gave some representation there. And I think that was a really good move of her. I think that speaks volumes of, how she truly feels and not how people online are trying to make her look. And I mean, it baffles me. Like, you're turning on your people that are trying to help you now too. And I mean, I'm not trans, so there could be things that are like, like it's like you said, outsider looking in.
It is. This is very this is from a perspective of we don't see it because like we're not of the same. Although I hate to say it, like we're not like trying to white knight anybody. You know what I mean? Like it's very much. It is like a very. I don't want to say tone deaf either because it's not like we want to understand what has been done and like what is at fault from J.K. Rowling and why this is upsetting to so many people. So aside from what Jose's saying, I just wanted to add on to that, just tack on there. A lot of what she's been blamed for or what she's been accused of in inclusion with like the whole transphobia and stuff is queer baiting. So it's like, for example, she teases a lot of sexual preference for characters as a marketing ploy. So kind of to piggyback off of what you're saying as far as like this is representation for a walk of life that isn't being well presented, but at the same time it's very tone deaf on her part because she's doing it, or what it's being theorized is that she does it as a way to market, to monetize that preference of person, but that is so something that I've read recently is like it's been hinted at that in the following what are those movies called?
The ones that are not very good.
Yeah, what are they? But what is
you're talking about? Fantastic
Beasts. Okay, so within those series of movies, I guess within this next installment, once they kind of get that squared away,
Justice for Johnny.
Justice for Johnny. Fuck you, Amber Heard.
Fuck you,
Amber Turd. You shitbag. Apparently, it's been hinted that J.K. Rowling has made some type of statements, and I say this because it's very vague whether or not she has, that the relationship, the romantic relationship between Grindelwald and Dumbledore will be hinted at, because I guess it's something that has been pointed out in the series before somewhat.
Yeah, so I mean in the books it talks about how intense of a friendship they had. So it doesn't say anything romantic, but it does address the fact that they were together all the time, that they were very close, and that when Dumbledore ultimately had to defeat Grindelwald, it wasn't something easy for him to do, and it's something he hesitated to do. So I mean, it hints at the closeness of the two characters without explicitly stating that they were romantically involved. And
I mean, it could also be, and this is, again, from an outside perspective, it's almost akin to a Deku Bakugo relationship, or, well, something a little more mature, maybe like a Naruto Sasuke relationship,
right? Where
it's like the bond of friendship that is there is so intense that, I mean, he would, seeing it from a fan's perspective, is he would hesitate to ultimately, bring down Grindelwald, because it's like you're having to bring down your friend. I don't want to end up cutting off my friend's fucking arm, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, and that's why it gets tricky because it's not explicitly stated that they were romantically involved. It can very easily fit into a bromance fit instead. There's
like that narrative can be kind of
it can apply anywhere.
Yeah, it's very open. It's very open.
And so, but I mean, the reason that she gets called, or that she's been under fire mostly with the whole transphobic remarks that she is being attacked for, I guess. She talks about how with trans women, men who transition into women, how she feels like it takes away from real women. I can understand, and I'm not saying she's I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm leaning more towards she didn't say anything wrong. And I mean, 10 years from now, I could change my mind, or 5 years from now, a year from now, who knows? But from what I know, it sounds like she's trying to uphold the uniqueness and the value of women. Biologically speaking, I can acknowledge you as a woman if you've transitioned. That's okay. I have no problem. Like, oh, I identify as a woman. Okay, I will call you she or whatever your pronouns are. You want to be a woman, I will acknowledge you as a woman. But there are biologically things that are unique to women, being childbirth and pains like that we as men don't experience. Yeah. And so for me, she was talking about how maybe she could have worded it better. Maybe I don't know the exact words, but she upset people because basically she was talking about how a man who transitions into a woman doesn't experience everything that a quote unquote real woman does. They don't go through menstruation. They don't go through childbirth. They don't have a lot of the things that we revere women for, and it's something that I, as a man, seeing, my wife go through that definitely helped me get rid of some of I guess you could say the societal views of men and women. It definitely helped me appreciate women more and not dismiss feminism as much. Because when I hear the word feminism, I used to think of the whole feminine Nazi thing that was going on, where it was you're offensive just by existing as a male type thing.
Men are pigs.
Yeah.
But there's different.
The more radical approach.
Exactly, more radical, and so seeing all that helped me appreciate true feminism more and get more in touch with that. And so, I feel like J.K. Rowling was trying to go more towards, hey, let's acknowledge that, there are women, biological women, and that, while someone who transitions from man to woman, we can acknowledge them and everything like that, let's still acknowledge the value of, I don't want to say an actual woman, but a biological woman, and the unique things they have to go through that no one else will have to go through.
Yeah.
There's a lot to dissect there. I didn't mean to ramble.
No, there is. No, but it's a very complex subject, I get where certain defenses would come up in that argument. Another note that, to fall into that, because a lot of it has to do with LGBTQ subject matter.
Right.
Is where a lot of these subjects fall under. Another one of them to follow up with the relationship between Grindelwald and Dumbledore is, and again with the subject of queer baiting, in The Cursed Child, in the book, she's been blamed of fan fiction shipping, which I guess, I'm new to this term, when fans wish for two characters to be romantically linked. So, again, like a Sasuke Naruto, like a fucking Gohan Piccolo, like a fucking... It's out there.
Oh, no. I did not know that was a thing, but that's...
Look, you guys, pause real quick. Go look up Ninja Love. Thank me later. Unpause. Yeah, it's... I get what... I now understand the term. I get it. But... So this falls into, again, with The Cursed Child, Scorpius Malfoy and Albus Potter.
I just want to take a quick moment to say the cursed child is a piece of shit and shouldn't exist.
So I've heard. I heard it's like...
We'll dig into it after you continue your notes there. But it's, I just want to let the listeners know the cursed child is shit.
So I hear. I've never read it. It's not on Audible. I don't want to fucking...
I can, I'll do a little ramble on that after too, but, continue.
So there is an intense, I guess, contextually within the book, there is an intense personal relationship in comparison to Harry and Ron that Scorpius and Albus share, but it's very it's purposefully, or I don't know, I haven't read the book, so I don't know contextually how it reads, but it reads as a very intense sexual bond. It's very, I guess the narrative there can be driven to very intense spectrums, but I don't know because I've never read the book. I fucking don't know. I'm not going to go look at the Spark Notes for it. I really have no interest in doing so. Literally, unless it came out on fucking Audible, I would I would listen to it. But it's I've read all the books. I did my time. I did that sentence. And I cried for fucking Dumbledore, but I'm not going to...
I cried more for Dobby than Dumbledore.
Oh, it was sad. It was really sad. I fucking cried when Mrs. Weasley saved Ginny and turned Bellatrix to stone.
Not my daughter, you bitch.
I was yes!
When she...
That's so intense.
That's one of the lines I remember most from the books, and when I was watching the movie, I was I swear to God, if that line is not in this fucking movie, I'm walking out of this fucking movie theater.
There is a lot of... a side note, I'm on a real big Marvel kick. I'm reading the Marvel Infinity Gauntlet, not to be confused. So what Infinity War is the Infinity Gauntlet. And it's a broader fucking spectrum than the movie is. On leap by leaps and fucking bounds, it is far fucking beyond the movie. We're held to a little minuscule fucking palette in the movie. Infinity. So anyway, fucking.
Quit giving me other things to take up my time.
Infinity Gauntlet. There are certain just small panels that come up within the story that hit me on such another level. When they're going over so this is who was snapped away and this is who's alive. So now we have to reach out to across the fucking across timelines and multiverses and shit to see who will come and answer the call. And it's just little side notes, and they're well, we don't know. We don't have anybody that'll help us, but we really need some help. And there's a small note where Iron Man just shows up, and the dialogue, the way that it's written, is so emotionally driven that he's fuck, I don't remember it word for word, but it's when there is no one left to help, it looks like the Iron Man will step up and take the call. And honestly, if we could see that in a fucking movie, dude, and it's just Iron Man walking out of a fucking portal that Doctor Strange made because they're trying to reach out to people, it's so fucking cool. But driven plot points. But yeah, so the relationship comparison, I guess, in Cursed Child, it's supposed to be Ron and fucking Harry, and it's really la-di-da, but contextually, people are well, why is, are they gay? Are they not gay? They need to be gay. And some people are well, they're not gay, but it's a big fucking conflict because of the way that it's written.
And let me say the conflict shouldn't even exist because the book should never fucking exist. It's such a piece of shit. Such a piece of shit. So, and here's the thing. I didn't even, and thank God I haven't read the book, but I know it's a piece of shit because I watch YouTubers and there's different...
Oh, the reviews.
So there's reviews and then there's lore that gets established in the book or whatever. There's an argument, though, that The Cursed Child isn't canon because it wasn't written by J.K. Rowling.
What?
It was not written by J.K. Rowling. It was a play. It's a play.
That's true. Okay, that is true. Okay.
It's a play that was written, I forget the guy's name, but it was a play written by somebody else. I think J.K. Rowling was a consultant, or she was kind of a part of it, but she did not write it herself.
I had no clue. So I was under the impression that it was the book, and then they adapted a play to the book, but
No.
it's the other way around.
It's a play, and to my understanding, the book is just the play written down.
So it's like Dragon Ball GT. It's not Akira Toriyama, but
Exactly.
it's kind of.
Yeah. You know, so.
Oh, wow.
But here's the reason it's a piece of fucking shit. So, you have, and this is going to be an oversimplification.
I want you to snap your wands in half.
But this
I want
shit's,
you to spit on fucking.
This shit's fucking garbage. Okay, so check this shit out. Fucking Harry has a son. I think it's the youngest one. The one that's named Albus Severus Potter or Albus Severus, yeah, whatever the fuck his name is. And Draco's son, Scorpius. And Harry's son, you know, at the end of the last one, he's like, what if I'm in Slytherin, Dad? And he's like, 2 of the bravest men I know were in Slytherin. And, oh, surprise, he's in fucking Slytherin. So he's in Slytherin.
Really?
Yeah, he gets into Slytherin house. And I'm like, that right there is fucking like, nah, shut the fuck up. So then Harry's son, the chosen one, Mr. Gryffindor himself, his fucking son is Slytherin. That's bullshit. Fuck that right off the bat, all right? Ravenclaw, okay, he's smart. Hufflepuff, yeah, okay, kind. Slytherin,
loser,
really?
but-
The fucking opposite? That's like having a fucking norteño and his son's like, puro pinche, you know, whatever the fuck they say, South, Dad. I'm Southside, motherfucker. Like, no, that shit just doesn't fucking happen.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself, eh?
And fans will say like, well,
Chale, I'm gonna commit suicide, eh?
it can happen. It can happen because like Sirius was Gryffindor, even though his whole family was Slytherin.
But wasn't one of the main themes of Harry Potter to begin with Harry Potter, with Harry during the whole sorting, wasn't it left up to perspective that because the sorting hat goes off of the wearer's kind of like what they're vibing on, that it was always left up to perspective that he could have went to any house, but because he was under the impression that Slytherin was for bad people and he wanted to go to Gryffindor, the sorting hat was like, well, go to Gryffindor.
Yeah, no, also, I mean, we can do a whole episode on Harry Potter, but the sorting hat...
We need to.
The sorting hat is the worst fucking sorting system ever. And we can dig into that too. Oh, we're gonna judge your whole life, fucking your whole future when you're fucking 10 or 11 years old, based off your personality at the fucking time. It's a fucking hat. A fucking hat. You have Dumbledore, one of the greatest wizards who ever lived. You have McGonagall, one of the wisest, baddest bitches ever. But no, let's let this fucking hat decide what house you're gonna fucking be in, based on your thoughts at one of the most anxiety-ridden points in your life. That's fucking genius. Hats off to you, founders of Hogwarts. Fuck the 4 of you. Anyways. So fucking,
I'm going to Ollivanders and burning this motherfucker down.
So this fucking shit. Anyways, back to the fucking cursed child, the cursed book, piece of shit. Harry's son is Slytherin. He becomes butt buddies with fucking Scorpius Malfoy, and they're like, "Oh, we're really good friends." And then here's the fucking kicker: plot twist, because we want to make this shit fucking sell. Voldemort had a daughter.
No way.
Yes. Voldemort had a fucking kid with Bellatrix Lestrange. Apparently, during the Battle of Hogwarts, Bellatrix is fucking... She just gave birth, because that's the only way the timeline matches up for their daughter to go to school with Harry's fucking kids. But it's like, who the fuck watched the kid? But this kid's a fucking Hogwarts member. You would think that the fucking Ministry of Magic, Kingsley Shacklebolt, takes over afterwards. You'd think they'd be like, this is the child of...
What did they fuck in the forest right before?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have a spell to speed up the process. Like, hey, you might die. Let me get that fucking kid out of there. But you'd think Kingsley Shacklebolt, the Minister of Magic, after this all goes down, would be like, that is the child of the worst wizard to ever live. I can't fucking do a Kingsley. But you'd think that they'd be like, you know what? Maybe we don't let you go to Hogwarts.
But you can't deny Dumbledore's got style.
So, anyway, that's the whole fucking plot is then this fucking child steals a time turner, and influences these two to go back in time to see their fucking parents during their youth.
We're gonna go watch my dad and my mom fuck in the forest. We're all going.
So, and the whole thing is Voldemort's daughter wants to bring her fucking dad back. And so they want to manipulate time in order to fucking have him come back. And she manipulates these two, again, Harry's kid.
So is she the Hermione? I was going to ask, is there a Hermione? But is this character the Hermione? Like, is she
kind
referred?
of? She's not really, they're not friends. She just, and again, I haven't read it, so I don't know the details. But she influences them. They become friends, I guess you could say. And she influences them to go back in time with the time turner. And here's what they fucking do, okay? This is how they bring Voldemort back. Of all the times they could go back to bring Voldemort back, to bring him back, they fucking go to the Triwizard Tournament.
Uh-huh.
They manipulate Cedric Diggory, and he loses the second challenge to Harry. Harry gets first place. I don't know how that fucking happens, but Harry gets first place. Cedric loses. He's humiliated. He's pissed off at Harry. He hates Gryffindor. And he becomes a fucking Death Eater down the line. He never died. Cedric Diggory becomes a fucking Death Eater. Harry never went to the fucking graveyard or some shit. So I don't know what I don't know. It was confusing as fuck. But basically, of all the times to bring Voldemort back, that's how you do it. You humiliate Cedric Diggory in the Triwizard Tournament. And that makes, like, this is the fucking guy when everyone's making fun of Harry. He's like, hey, Harry, here's a tip. You know, you help me, let me help you. Like, such a stand-up fucking guy. But this guy gets so mad over fucking losing one challenge that he becomes a Death Eater. He's not that vain. He literally says in the final challenge, you saved me, take it. He doesn't give a fuck. But you're telling me that he gives such a fuck about losing that he becomes
like,
a Death Eater?
Smell my finger. That's Cho Chang. And then just dies.
Oh, problematic character, Cho Chang.
Problematic. Oh, Cho Chang. She's coming up. She's coming up again.
Two last names.
Two last names. Two surnames.
Johnson.
This Johnson and Johnson.
Today's episode is brought to you by
making a Janssen vaccination.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Don't call us Johnson. Call us Janssen.
There you go. Anyway, so yeah, piece of shit book, terrible storyline, not really written by J.K., so I don't think it's really canon. And I think it's kind of stupid for people to argue over whether they should be gay or shouldn't be gay when this whole fucking story shouldn't even exist. Toss it out, make a whole new one.
So, dude, it's hard to follow that up. That whole fucking thing is amazing. So following the
spoiler alert.
So following the subject of queer baiting and this fan fiction shipping, character shipping, we then fall onto Nymphadora and Remus Lupin.
Oh man, R.I.P.
Well, you're gonna be real fucking. So So with Nymphadora Tonks.
Don't call me Nymphadora.
Because she turned into a duck. And Remus. Both characters, just by sheer fucking subjective insight from fans, both characters are thought to be queer, but were later married kind of like at the drop of a hat. Like, we started a movie and they were just married, they were going to have fucking kids, and no one really knew why. But I think it's kind of pointed out in the books. If I remember correctly.
It is. And I haven't... it's addressed in Order of the Phoenix. I think it was... I haven't listened to I listened to the book last like a year and a half ago. But I believe it's the fact that they do a lot of missions for the Order together. They're spending a lot of time together. And that's kind of how they fall in love. Like, that's how a lot of people have that story. A lot of people spend time together and fall in love. That's literally how fucking
it's
most
like Ash
people...
and Misty, but we never got it.
Fuck, Misty was a piece of shit.
I loved Misty. I didn't like May.
You didn't like May?
That was seasons later, dude. I just threw it out there. So Nymphadora and Lupin both thought to be... So Nymphadora was supposedly thought to be a character that represented gender fluidity, because she was a shapeshifter. That's it. Remus Lupin...
That could be offensive to the LGBT community, because to say that gender fluidity is shapeshifting is stereotyping.
God damn it.
I take offense.
Remus, being that he is a werewolf and an animagus, is thought to have been, so his condition and him like kind of hiding and, you know, kind of being like laying low a lot, you know, contextually, like his character, is thought to be a highlight or an overview or like a kind of a play on the subject of males who are HIV and AIDS positive, who have to hide themselves from normalcy of life, and they have to only like certain people know. And so apparently, based on what was just kind of like thrown on this character, Lupin is supposed to be like, it's not that he's a werewolf. It's that he is a representation of a gay man who has AIDS and he has to like hide, and then because of the fucking patriarchy, him and Nymphadora are forced on each other in a marriage that no one saw coming. Boom! J.K. Rowling.
That was so hard to fucking get through. I was shaking my head half that time. God damn it. The author was sad. He's telling us by telling us that the door is blue. That signifies his depression. And the four walls in the room signify that he feels like there's no way out other than suicide. Bitch, it's a Blue's Clues book. Shut the fuck up. That's what it is. It's over-analyzing literature. As someone who... Well, maybe I shouldn't put it out there. Someone who's trying to write a book, I come up with cool shit. I think this is a pretty cool part to the story. Sometimes something is in there just to be in there. Sometimes, this is a magical world. You know what's magical? Werewolves. Let me throw a fucking werewolf in there. It doesn't have to be all this fucking extra shit. There's children's books. Originally, it was designed for Scholastic. Scholastic fucking was the publisher. They're sold at book fairs. They're for children. They're not going to be fucking putting all this college level analytics in the fucking literature. It's just a fucking werewolf. It's just a fucking shapeshifter. Shut the fuck up, internet.
So those are just some of the issues that people have taken on with J.K. Rowling. That's just the fucking surface. We have so much more like available for us to dig into. For now, that'll be it. I think just the fucking rant itself is like the highlight of the fucking episode.
You really got me going with this shit. I got so much fucking.
We're gonna have this is gonna end up being a whole series of just fucking heat with J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling, if you can hear me, your wording may not always be the best, but I fucking love you. I fucking love your work. Don't let these fucking internet overthinkers put you down. I got your back, girl.
Yeah, this is good. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I fucking greatly enjoyed this.
Try to fucking cancel me for this shit. Try to fucking say that I'm transphobic or some shit for saying this shit. I don't give a fuck. J.K. Rowling is a fucking angel. You leave her the fuck alone.
Thank you guys for supporting us. Thank you guys to the Facebook community. Thank you guys for thanking us for thanking you.
In the next episode, we'll talk about how Voldemort, the real Voldemort.
More J.K. Rowling shit is coming.
The real Voldemort supports J.K. Rowling.
This ain't stopping. Also, quick note, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is dropping tonight. At the time of this episode, it's 3/18. It's going to drop tonight at 12 a.m. DC, the Snyder Cut has dropped 4-hour movie, so fucking get ready for that. Thank you, sir. I am the Elder.
Jose, the great communicator, defender of authors.
The advocate. Thank you guys, and we will catch you on the next one.
Who are you, really?
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Come for me, Gmork! I am a traitor!
You are beaten. It is useless to resist. Don't let yourself be destroyed.
Offer me everything I ask for.
Anything you want.
I want my father back, you son of a bitch.
I am your father.
That's my son! This is my boy! My boy! That's impossible!
You're laughing. Someone was killed today because of what you did.
I know. How about another joke, Murray?
Fire, you son of a...
Fuck you.
None of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you.
You're locked in here with me.
You steal my daughter, Warrior. I understand your pain.
Actually, we're all tickled to hear you say that.
You shall have your revenge. Iron Man. Good night. And always remember, that's